Hello and welcome. Welcome to another episode of VCTV by LATOKEN. Today, Wednesday, January 13, we have an amazing topic to discuss, and also we have an amazing group of people, leaders and investors, who are going to be discussing their experience, their advice, and most importantly, the content that is directed for you startups, small, medium enterprises, and founders who need this information. So stay tuned until the end, pay attention, because today we're gonna have an amazing topic, which is about seed investment and early investment. So everyone tuning in, welcome from all over the world. Everyone, good afternoon, good evening, good morning from wherever you are. And because of the time, I just want to go briefly on taking turns with the panelists today, introducing yourself, the company you represent, and how you can help startups today. Let's start with Devang, please. Devang, hello, welcome.
Thank you, Carol. Yeah, hi everyone. I am Devang Mehta, partner at Untitled Ventures. We're a speed scaling ecosystem. We invest and scale early stage companies in 3 verticals, of which I take care of the health tech vertical. So we invest in companies in oncology and adjacencies, startups doing cool thing in AI, ML, and cutting edge tech to improve efficiencies in procedures and cancer discovery. I am based out of Mumbai, India, and happy to connect with all of you. Thanks.
Thank you, Devan, and welcome once again. Let's move on to Anil. Hello, Anil. Welcome. Good to see you.
Okay, thanks, Carol, and wish everyone very happy New Year. This is my first in 2021. I'm Anil from Unicorn India Ventures, based out of India. We are early stage VC, and we focus investing $500,000 to $2 million in tech-focused ventures. We stay away from e-commerce, consumer internet. That's what. Look forward to stay in touch and keep investing. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil. Thank you so much. And welcome again. Happy New Year to you too. Gary, welcome from the US. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good to be here. So my name is Gary Fowler. I'm a serial entrepreneur, an investor. In fact, yesterday I made an investment in some deep space tech. I started the first accelerator in Russia and the #1 private corporate accelerator out of Russia, GVA. So I've done 17 companies, 2 unicorns, and I just love artificial intelligence. So it's great to be here today.
Thank you so much and welcome. From the US as well, Raghu, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, Carol and VCTV. I'm Raghu Rao from Princeton, New Jersey. I'm a serial entrepreneur, angel investor, and business mentor. I have a company called Harvesting Enterprises. We help with from strategy stage to execution to exit. And happy to be here. Look forward to a good discussion.
Thank you so much, Raghu. Thank you. Welcome and Happy New Year too. We have also Kweku for the very first time on LATOKEN VCTV. It's really good to have you. Welcome on board, and please introduce yourself and let us know more about the company you represent. You're on mute.
Zoom mistake. Hello, everybody. My name is Kweku Asian. I represent, I'm a partner for Mansa Capital. I am based here in Accra, Ghana, but I've lived in Toronto for a while as well. My partner is Guinean, but is based in Hong Kong. I'm an investor as well, invested in numerous companies in North America, but now mostly in Africa, including a blockchain prop tech company called Seso Global. And my firm is an advisory firm as well. So we help startups here in Africa with strategy and as well as with their capital raise. Again, pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Kweku, and welcome again. I hope you have a really good session today. It's going to be very interesting for all of us. Welcome. So moving on, we have Harsh. welcome back. Good to see you.
Hey, Carol, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure coming back to VCTV again and again. Hi, everyone. My name is Harsh Deodar. I'm from India. I'm representing AHA Ventures. I've been a serial entrepreneur myself. I've been heading the investor relations and strategic alliance for AHA Ventures in the past 2 months. AHA Ventures is one of India's largest fundraising platform for startups. We've done close to 63 deals in the past 8 years, out of which only 5 have not seen the light of day. Most all of them are doing quite well. We also co-invest with a bunch of investors. We have done about 13 co-investing so far, out of which 9 we have had successful exits. We are agnostic in terms of the level at what startup is or probably what range of funding they're looking at. We are looking at a portfolio of doing at least 40 deals this year. So Jan has been quite interesting for us, and hope to get connected with more people like this on this platform. Thank you so much.
Hi, Harsh. Thank you so much for that introduction, and welcome again. Then we have Francis from the Philippines. Is that correct, Francis?
That's right, Carl. So hi, everyone. I'm Francis. I'm an angel investor here in the Philippines, as well as I'm in the M&A space, where we also help startups in structuring, advice, and fundraising, as well as I've been helping mentor startups in the country to really get them global, if not regional, within the Southeast Asian space. Yep, pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, Francis, and welcome back. Good to see you. Happy New Year for you too. Thank you. Srikanth.
Hi there. I believe this is the first show that I'm seeing with Carol hosting the show. Pleasure to be here. I know quite a few in the panel who are speaking. Some of you would have spoken to me as well. I am Dr. Srikanth Patsarthi. I'm a M&A advisor and incidentally happen to be a law advisor as well. Pleasure to talk to you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Welcome again. So thank you so much for all of our amazing investors, advisors, and leaders in their different industries. So today it's going to be a really important session, and that is because for all of you, dear panelists, I just want to share a little bit. So on daily basis, we are helping, or our mission as LATOKEN VCTV is to create this content, this educational content for startups, founders, and small medium enterprises who are in this big journey, in this challenging journey that is building healthy startup and eventually, hopefully, a unicorn. Therefore, all of your advices today are pretty much dedicated to all of them who are watching us and who are connecting backstage to us and asking questions, how to pitch, am I suitable to pitch, I am in the right stage, and so on. So that is the content that we're going to discuss today. And please share your case studies, your advices, and straight to the startups who are watching us today. So I would like to start with the first question, and which is, what is precisely the seed investment and when it happens? So let's try to be concrete and short on that. Everybody share your opinions from your perspective as well. So again, what is seed investment and when it happens? Can we start with Devang, please, with this question?
Yeah, that definition changes a lot across geography, across even within a geography, across a sector and all. It's usually the first investment that comes in outside of friends and family, So it's basically, you start a company, you bootstrap it, you put your savings into it, and then people immediately around you, who frankly in many cases might not know that much about the company, but just know you put in money. And then, you move along to the next round of funding, which is basically from contacts who are at least one level abstracted away from immediate friends and family. It could be an angel, it could be a clutch of angels, it could be even a pre-series institutional round. The time when it comes in, which is post friends and family, Usually to round out a POC or a beta version of a product and just get to market. That broadly is a seed investment.
Okay, thank you so much. That's very insightful. Thank you, Devan. So moving on to Anil, following what Devan just mentioned. So as a startup in the stage of building the project, not yet in the market, can they apply for pitching for seed investment?
I think there are several examples where companies have raised money even when they are at tissue paper plant stage, right? So and they have done good. I still remember the first company which we had invested during Mumbai Angel Days, which is a leading angel platform in India, which I had it for some time. And the company which we invested was called Coach, and that discussion actually happened over a coffee table. And now it is called InMobi, and it's in a first unicorn in India, right? So yes, investment does happen, even at idea stage or at a prototype stage. However, for that to happen, either you need very close association with mentor, investor, or your pitch has to be so unique that investors can't afford to miss, right? So answer is yes, it does happen, but it's not a normal phenomena from a VC perspective to write check it in an idea stage or at a plan stage. But yes, investment does happen. In fact, I
Those
remember,
sounds like really good news for startups
in fact, a
who
good
are in
friend of
that stage.
mine raised his first investment, which is $30 million, and that was raised even before their company was incorporated. So yes, it depends upon who's doing and what is the idea. But yes, it does happen. They can certainly pitch, but they have to be unique.
Right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for that. Gary, what are the chances, based on what Anil mentioned? It has to be unique. It depends on the project and all of the elements. How do you see, what are the real chances for a startup that is building their project, not yet in the market, actually succeed in finding an investor?
Well, it's harder to do when you don't have revenue, right? So there's really three levels of startup. 1.0 is your design thinking, you get your MVP. 2 is regional dominance, and 3 is going global. So in that first stage, so the critical steps in the first stage is, 1, do you have the right kind of team, and can you build something? In the first stage of it, in a seed investment, it's really based on faith. Do you believe in the team? Do you think they can pull it off? Have they done it before? If that's the case, the probability dramatically increases you're going to get funded. And if they're serial entrepreneurs and they've done it 3 or 4 times, it's not as hard. So it never is easy. One of the best ways to do it is use an accelerator, a traditional accelerator, like a Y Combinator, a plug and play, to get some funding and some guidance to be able to get you through the process. So it is, going down and doing customer discovery and validation to make sure you got the right product, the right place, the right time, and people want to buy it. The book by Steve Blank and Bob Dorff. Bob was my dean of my school, and Steve's a friend from Silicon Valley. I would use that guidance to help you. Make sure that you're building something that people want.
All right, awesome. Thank you. That is actually very insightful. And I really hope that startups who are watching us are taking notes on that, because this is very valuable. Raghu, what is the difference between seed investment and startup funding? Can you guide us on that, please?
Sure. I think as they say, friends, family, some people say fools. So it's about before you go to seed investment is usually outside of your immediate circle, as Devang was mentioning. This is more of your friends, family, and yourself starting up, where you start the company, and you have the concept and you set up the company, you get the right team. And you may not have the idea. One person may have the idea. You still need to get a well-rounded team. And I think, as many people alluded, including Gary, the team is extremely important, I think, at this startup stage. And once you have if it is a serial entrepreneur, of course, people already have gone through what is needed to take it through the rest of the steps. So that has a lot more credibility. So.
Okay, thank you so much. So it's very insightful to what you're saying, and I would like to ask Kweku, in terms of your experience, I bet you have also startups coming to you and knocking at your door, intending to present it or pitching to you. So the question is, again, talking about early stage, what are the basics that you look in the startup, in the project, to filter into a possibility versus no chance at all? So what are those basics that you will share with us?
Sure, and I'll say this in the context of the content, at least for me. So there are three main things that I at least with respect to CESO, let me use that example, that I looked out for. So first is always the founder. It's always down to the founder, having those conversations with that individual, asking them questions, just sort of vibing with them and understanding, where their mind is at, whether or not they have sort of those qualities that are required for a CEO, perseverance and the sort of the need to learn, and then sort of the need to adapt as well. And obviously, the simple enough, just the problem statement, is this really going to solve something as well, especially in the context of Africa? Really, you really want to ask yourself, is this going to solve something? And is this sort of solution going to solve that? And I guess the final part is, for me, at least personally, is to see if I can be of help. And so if I personally, sort of my money is smart money as well. And so if I can move that sort of startup along the journey as well with my own network, my own connections, then it makes it an easier sort of, I guess, selling for me to put in some capital.
All right, that is straightforward, very helpful. Thank you, Kweku. And I would like to use the same question to Harsh. So again, you're also, from your perspective of investor, what are those basics that you see in startups in early stages when they come to you to pitch? What are those basics that they must have to like I said again, to move to a possibility of investment?
So Carol, while it's quite interesting and a positive sign that Indian ecosystem of startup is really good, doing well. We've got as giants as Flipkart's coming to India, when 2009 was a very big thing for India to raise funds for a startup, right? But then because of that, a lot of founders really thought the way of doing business is by raising funds, right? So that was like a bad perception, which led a lot of founders to lead that route. What founders also don't understand, that fundraising is a full-time activity, right? You really need to spend a lot of time in figuring out what investors you need to reach out to, what things you need to talk in detail, what things you need to restrict. It's a strategy by itself, right? So it takes a lot of time and toll to get rejections also. So what ideally actually we look for, especially me personally, is their dedication, the team, especially the team's dedication and strategy to build more revenues. I mean, if you've not figured out how you're going to make money, there's no point for asking money, the way I look at it that way. Because in the past, I've seen so many guys who rely only on funding to run their company. It doesn't how it works, right? So, I mean, you might just get your seed, you might get your friends and family, or even Raghu said, some fools on board. But to run a company, you don't need customers, right? So that's your main source of funding. I'm not going to be a main source of funding. The main strategy to make money, to acquire more customers, reaching to 100 customers, 1,000 customers, 100 markets is what I'm more interested in. So that's what we really focus time on. So while obviously the first level of filtration is founders, but immediately I jump on and understand what are they going to do with the product and how they're going to make money, the revenue plan.
Mm-hmm. All right, very insightful. Thank you so much. I would like to move to Srikanth in terms of like, what are the opposite? What are the no-goes that you may face as investor or even as an advisor? What are those no-goes that startups keep common mistakes that they keep coming on? And that's because they are in the early stage. They are probably pitching for the very first time or second time. They don't have that experience. What are those no-goes that they have to avoid?
See, I think the fundamentals did not change, does not really change post-COVID. I think startups make a very, very fundamental mistake of saying that they pivoted during COVID and here's my fresh set of ideas, which is going to make me a $1 billion company as opposed to the $1 million company that I was. I think the fundamental hubris that startups come with, especially solving problems of COVID, is one of the most overheard scenario that I would double down with Harsh in this particular factor, right? And number two is, I would say, a complete no-go would be the dichotomy of choosing. And in India, especially in India, we have this dichotomy of edtech or hyperlocal, which seem to be the tangential approaches that startups seem to be taking to just get funded and to just get the valuation, which is not the right way of approaching an investor. There are other avenues, there are other ecosystems. For example, Kochi is one ecosystem which I've always appreciated as a hub, which is very strong on fundamentals. Israel is another hub which I always appreciated as a hub which is great on fundamentals. The fundamentals do not change. If startups expect the COVID to have changed the fundamentals, I think they need to reassess themselves.
Very, very insightful. Thank you so much for the startups who are watching us. You know now what not to do. Otherwise, your investment gets in risk right now. So thank you so much. Moving on to Francis, in terms of similar question to you, when startups come to you in the early stage, what are the no-goes? There is no way that they have higher chances. So the same, can you name 2 to 3 no-goes that you recommend early stage startups not to bring up to an investor?
Sure. I think one of the key things is the cap table. I love looking at the cap table. It usually, shows us the story of what really happened before they got together, and also shows who's leading and who are the passive ones as well. On the other hand, it also is all about the product, because we always want to validate that with customers around, especially if it's a local targeted startup. So we always check on the customers, making sure that they actually want something like this. And lastly, it's also about who the founders are, and why they're doing it. So I think it's very critical for us to know that during tough times, these guys are not going to give up, and they're going to push on whatever happens.
That is very useful. Thank you so much, Francis. So it sounds to me that more than one investor agrees that the first thing to influence or not in investing is the CEO. So what are the characteristics, or what do you look into the CEO to finally decide to invest or not? Let's go very quickly on this, and I would like to start with Anil. What are those things that you watch or you look into in the CEO or the founder?
So it's a very tough one. We are an early stage, investor, and the only thing from our perspective is, the quality of team and more important, CEO, right? Or founding team, right? Founders and co-founders. So we, in fact, take too much time in validating this one point, about founders and their team, right? So when you talk about qualities, what we do look at, I think the list is quite, long, and it's a laundry list, but to highlight, some of the aspects which actually, make important for us is, what's their background, what kind of institutes they come from, what is their qualification, what kind of family background they have, how passionate they about, their venture, what made them start, this venture, what kind of work experience they have, what kind of leadership position they had hold, like they had in past, what complementary skill sets they bring on table, right? How flexible they are, what's their human handling traits, can they build team or not, are they good salesmen or not, whether they understand their business or not, whether they are able to attract talent which they don't have, right? So there are several things which we look at, just sounded few of them which becomes quite important for us. I'm sure my fellow panelists will have more to add, but these are few of the aspects which we look at, what makes important, right? Whether is this the person who will be able to build that next unicorn for us or not, right?
Right.
That's what we normally look at.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
So for the founders who are watching us today, confidence, as one of the descriptions that Anil mentioned, just replay what he said. It's very important because, like I said again, daily basis we receive communication from startups, and we do mention that, but it's really good that they hear from proper investors who know what they're doing. So thank you so much, Anil. Very quickly, Gary. So we say that in the early stage, the first investment or the seed investment happens commonly from family and the fools sometimes. So what do you recommend? Do you recommend go straight forward? If I am a startup who is like pitching for the very first time, should I pitch to sharks, to you guys investors, or should I run my first seed investment with my family and friends? What do you recommend?
Well, I recommend that they go out and they try to get, first revenue. People are really interested with their MVP, because if you do that, it doesn't matter who it is, they're going to be much more likely to invest in the company. And the situation is, I've raised money. I raised $7 million without sales in a company with Eva.ai. So I had no sales in the company. So we went out. A lot of it's based on the team and the history of the team. Actually raised $9.5 million in total in that particular situation. So I did two labeled. The first 1 and 2 were 7 million was labeled as a seed round. So I would go everywhere I could pitch, because you want to get the feedback to refine your pitch to make sure you're right on target. The more practice, practice makes perfect. The more practice, the more feedback, the better it is. I would go out to every one of those pitch competitions that are out there. Now, and during the COVID time, I would get online and go to every one of them that I could get and get feedback. So that's it. First revenue is critically important. Then you're assured the people, as Bob Dorff said, want to grab it out of your hands. So that's what I'd be looking for. And
thank you so much.
That's what I do.
Yeah, very wise, very wise. Thank you so much, Gary. Raghu, very quickly. So Gary is mentioning that perfecting in the pitching, doing once, twice. So Raghu, based on your experience or advice, what is the number in terms of like how many times the startup has to pitch in order to potentially have an investment, in your experience?
I think it depends on the team and the idea as well, how mature it is, both the team as well as the idea. So and if they know the ropes, we call it unconscious incompetence. If you don't know what you don't know, then it takes a long time to learn that from others. And you have to be open to learning, because some people, if you don't even know what you don't know, it takes a very long road. But if people are aware, as well as the idea is good, especially it has already traction with some customers like charter customers and things like that, then it could happen in 1 or 2. Otherwise, typically, I think it's about 10 pitches or so where you get some refinement and then move forward.
That is very wise as well. So it sounds to me that it's not only about that passion of building a solution and also the founder itself, but also the team and how the confidence on how they develop during the pitch and presentation. Very wise. Thank you so much, Raghu. So, Kweku, in terms of the going from small to big, early stage startups, should they look for international investors, or when they are in the stage of looking for investors, should they go regional in their country and then eventually internationally, or is it fine to just jump to international investors? Like I'm saying, like we're having right now a panel of investors geographically located in different places. So what do you advise?
I think that the cop-out answer is a bit of both, right? Smart money regionally, so looking for family offices, individuals within within the space that you're looking at locally who can give you some capital goes a long way, right? Just because they can assist you with moving the company, moving your objectives, at least locally as well, right? So whether if you are looking at a fintech, in Nigeria, having an investor that works at a bank or works with banks would obviously be quite useful. But of course, international money is international money as well. And obviously the quantums abroad are a bit higher, especially in the African context as well. And so looking to raise capital. Capital is, in my mind, always king. And you can always do a lot with that as well in terms of, moving your objectives as well. And so I would say a bit of both would make the most sense optimally. But if you are starting and looking to maybe showcase what you're looking to do, then perhaps, the local sort of smart capital might be sort of, if you had to choose, the way to go. But yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Very wise. Devan, is there a easy way to find investment, or is it always going to be hard?
It depends on how well networked you are, frankly. It's how you leverage and build your network is, there's a saying that network is net worth. So,
Yep.
Basically, your immediate network, you take an extreme, there's people that graduate from Stanford, spend their whole life in the Silicon Valley. By the time they're 25, they know so many VCs, just through local networking and all that. It's obviously much easier for someone like that to at least get meetings, if not raise a fund. As opposed to other people that, grew up in geographies that are not that, where the ecosystems are less developed, then you have to obviously work harder. You have to reach out, thanks to LinkedIn, the world is a bit smaller, a bit flatter. Investors are more within reach, at least, geography is less of a factor now. But I think, it's a function of all this, right? Of course, it's a function of, I think what's really important for a startup is early PR. If you build out a great team, if you manage to get on some luminary as an advisor, you get some key customer or early interest from a strategic, and somehow that is articulated through the right PR, the buzz starts building that this is the next big thing. Then the investors will come to you. You don't necessarily have to reach out. So it all depends on how you play these equations, and play them to your favor.
Very wise. Thank you so much, Devan. Harsh, this question goes to you in terms of I keep hearing from all of you investors that it's about the team. So what is the smallest acceptable team that from your perspective of investor that you look into? 5 people, 10 people in a team, 15 people? What is the smallest acceptable for you?
So Carol, more than number, at least I look at the functions, right? So a single founder team is kind of a red flag because, we need to have more horses to bank on. So at least more than 2 founders or even 2 founders is fine. Second, I usually am not very comfortable if they outsource their tech. if you're a tech company, a tech startup, you can't really outsource your tech. I'm not really comfortable. There are some investors who have done this in the past where the idea is theirs and the tech is run by someone else. So at least the tech, if you're a tech startup, your tech has to be there should be a tech team. At least the founder, if he's not from a tech background, he needs to have a CTO in place. At least that's what my requirement is. Marketing, sales, branding, I think that can be taken care of. But your day-to-day operations to reach from 1 to 5 customers or 5 to 10 customers, you need tech, right? Because I've run my own startup. I know how difficult it was for me to run it because I don't come from a tech background. Every feedback which comes from customers, you need to be very, very quick to turn this around. And with a good tech team, you can do that, right? So that's my the first thing which I look for. So more than the number, I think the function is very, very important. If you're doing something core, your core needs to be with you. It can't be outsourced. That's what I look at. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Harsh. Srikanth, in terms of pitching presentation itself, what are the higher or the much more acceptable in a pitching presentation? What are those key that founders and CEOs have to keep in mind at the moment of preparing and rehearsing for their big day, their pitching day?
I am a fundamental believer in honesty and fair play. The moment something appears a little dishonest about a particular pitch, a lot of time founders have this tendency of sugarcoating their pitch in such a way that it appeals to investors, and they try to inflate their team sizes. I'm sure Harsh and Anil would have faced this particular issue in India at least, where they try to show certain team sizes, or it would have been a one person team. And I agree with Harsh in this particular factor, right? It would be a one-person team. They would showcase as if they are a 10-member team, or so on and so forth. This happens quite normally in developing countries around the world. So I believe be honest, be truthful about what you're pitching. If you as a company haven't built something, be honest about it and say that I need money to actually build this. But I think what we bank on is on the 2 minutes that we present to us is the honesty, is the financials that we present, and not about the fancy stuff like the pitch deck to be very fancy and so on and so forth. A lot of people, apart from outsourcing tech, I'm sorry, I'm exceeding my time limit over here. Apart from outsourcing the tech, Harsh, a lot of people also outsource their pitch preparation process, which is one of the most cruelest thing that can happen in the pitching world.
Wow, interesting. Thank you so much. And last, we have Francis. What are Srikanth already mentioned a little bit the no-goes in terms of like when pitching during the big day, pitching to investors. What are the no-goes during the presentation that, based on your experience, you will recommend startups to stop doing it?
The no competition slide. That's number one. That's the funniest one I always see. I have no competition. And then perhaps listing too many advisors. So that's also one. I always see that a lot, especially for some that it's almost like 2 pages long of small pictures. And then there's also the part where they start to claim about insights and other insider stuff, domain insights that they don't have. So I think those are things that I look out for.
Very well said. Thank you so much. And I feel like some of the other fellow panelists, they are nodding their head, supporting what you just said. So it makes a lot of sense. So thank you so much for those insights. And talking about pitching, talking about advising, talking about projects, today we have a very interesting project, and they are about to start. So I would like to welcome Ivan. Ivan is, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, or Ivan. It's connecting, I believe, from Russia to present their slides. Hi, welcome. Welcome to LATOKEN VCTV.
Thanks. Hello everyone. Happy to join today. I'm going to present to you online platform for business management, ABV.com. Today, entrepreneurs have requests for systematically development of their business based on data. Our solution consists of two parts. It's the aggregator of analytical metrics synchronized without our RPA system. 4 steps on the business development for your client. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Ivan, would you like to present some slides? Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Please repeat.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yep, now we can see it. I was about to ask you, just didn't mean to interrupt you. Thank you so much. If you need help for the rest of our panelists, I understand that Ivan is with his teammate who probably will help us also in the communication in the case we need it. So just letting you know that. So Ivan, please go ahead.
Thank you. 1 minute. Repeat. I'm sorry. Hello everyone. Happy to join you today. I'm going to present to your online platform for business management, ABV.com. Today, entrepreneurs have a request for systematically development of their business based on data. Our solution consists of 2 parts in the aggregator of analytical metrics synchronized without our RPA system. So 4 steps, business development for our client. Step 1, client analysis his business using our system and advise a personal instruction for business development. ABV.com certified freelancer will help entrepreneur to solve the task she has difficulties with. The manager can add and control business metrics and automated scripts on centralized place. Automation scripts run on separate offline or online machine on OS Windows, create robots without code yourself. And a few minutes in create Python 2014 automation. Please pay attention. We are not CRM, BI, ERP, etc. We are a meta platform aggregator of analytics metrics. No need in integrators. We don't have direct competitions, but have industry ones. It's important to mention that we offer a complete solution. We are dealing with clients' problem faster, cheaper, more systematically, and thus efficiently. We have a service revenue streams, small checks from commission and subscription, bigger checks from major chains and franchise for generate huge sales for them. As addition, big checks also some from partnerships with business service. Economic. The revenue in the 1,000 quarter of 2020 is $11,000 from selling MVP concierge, average and increase of 50%. The blue trend line is our. We are in training the massively growing BI and RPA system markets. Potential growth by 2025 will allow us to show bigger results. We are the winners of several major competitions in Russia. We have won the Bidget Russia hackathon that is a genius book of records. We become best from 63,000 applicants. We have implemented our solution in the process of providing service to business clients. Previously, we provide IT consulting and professional service. We have become the best implemented platform, the system automated. We are looking for the $500,000 for USA go-to-market and investing the YC acceleration program in 2021. We have a professional team of development and sales manager with great background. Here are my contacts. Please feel free to ask any questions. How my colleague Dmitry will answer your questions. Thank you for listening to you.
Hi,
well done, Ivan. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad to answer any question you have. I will help Ivan to answer it.
Dear panelists, do you have any question or comment that you would like to share? Feel free to do it.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask what led to the idea? What's the background that led to this solution? What was the problem you saw? What was the solution you envisioned as well that led to this?
Okay, I can explain it. Ivan was the owner of his own business in consulting and marketing. He consulted a lot of Russian companies, not only Russians, and some of his clients asked to help them in automatization of process. So working with it, he decided to make this solution based on RPA and data analysis. So yeah, that's how it works.
Very interesting.
Thank you. Anybody else has some question or comment to share?
So what kind of traction you have currently?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
I said, what kind of traction you have currently?
Let me ask Ivan.
I mean to say, what kind of sales you have currently, right? Are you doing any sales or it's still at a development stage?
Yeah, right now we just started doing sales, and we already have sales managers and first sales and first clients already. We made first check in the last year already.
Good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Where,
Anybody
Dmitry, where are you located?
Our team located in different cities, mostly in Moscow. Also, I'm located in St. Petersburg, Russia. Yeah, but mostly in Russia. Also, we have some developers.
Я жил там почти 4 года. I'm David Yang's partner. Do you know Abby in Russia? Abby, Abbyy.
Yes.
I'm his partner.
Wow. I'm also impressed by your Russian.
No, конечно. I studied at Moscow State University for 5 years.
Wow.
Anyhow, my partner is in Russia, in Moscow right now. So if you want to talk in detail, I started Skokova Startup Academy and GVA. We're happy to talk to you in some more detail. You know, there's other questions that we can ask.
Yeah, of course, it's a nice contact for us. We will glad to contact them to answer some questions and discuss it.
Okay, приятно познакомиться.
Очень приятно.
Fantastic. I guess we are all learning Russian at this point, Gary. We need some lessons there. Thank you so much, and thank you for that opportunity. It's really good to see it live on TV. Anybody else has some questions before we go to the end of our show? Anybody else would like to share something else?
Yeah, I would like to know what kind of data you have, because businesses, have very different models. So the AI, what is the data sets that you're using so that would fit like a new business? How do you customize that?
Okay, it's as one mentioned, it's not a platform, it's meta platform. We not generating our own data. We just collecting data for users. Also not collecting present users' data they have in other services. For example, if you using Slack or something, or service for roadmap or any else service, you can see all the maps, graphics, and everything in our platform. It's a way to easier present your data to you as a user.
So you are expecting the company to have certain level of maturity, so they have enough data so that it can learn from that?
Yeah, of course.
So what would be the typical size of the company that your customers?
First of all, we decided to our first aim is small and medium businesses, because big companies is too large, and we want to try to work with small businesses first to find some weak places in our project, if we have some, and then we will go to big companies, of course.
Thank you, Dimitri.
Wonderful. Anybody else would like to share comments, even advices? Everything is welcome. No? It sounds to me that it's no more comments, no more questions. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your contact. So what we can do from now is connect through email and share contact. So even go in conversations afterwards if someone else pops up with some questions. So thank you very much, and good luck for Ivan and Dimitri. Congratulations on your winnings, and thank you so much for being here today on LATOKEN VC TV. You're welcome to come any other time as well. All right, so for the end of our show, I have a little game for our investors and panelists today. This is going to take us 5 minutes. We're going to go very quickly. So how the game is going to be is I'm going to give you a word or a phrase related to what we've discussed throughout the last 45 minutes, 50 minutes. And I would like you to answer with one word. What does describe what you hear with one word? All right, let's do it very quickly. I'm gonna just repeat again. So I'm gonna give you a word or phrase, and I want you to describe it using one single word. All right, it's gonna be about the topic that we discussed today throughout this time. All right, so let's start with Devan. Devan, describe startup.
Passion.
Passion. Raghu, startup.
Business model. Oh, sorry, yeah. 2 words.
Oh yeah, that was the, whoops. Harsh, startup.
Persistence.
Yeah, very good word. Francis, startup.
Hustle.
Yeah. Kweku.
Adapt.
That I agree with you. Like Charles Darwin, it's all about adapting to the changes to survive. Anil, startup.
Of course, unicorn.
Unicorn, I love it. Thank you.
Money.
Srikanth, startup.
Honesty.
Say that again.
Honesty.
Yeah, quality, that's right. Gary, startup.
GSD, get shit done.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, although it's 3 words, but fine, welcome. Thank you. Devan, fundraising.
Passion. Oh, sorry, persistence.
Persistence. Raghu, fundraising.
Pitch.
Pitch. Harsh, fundraising.
Craziness.
Yeah. Francis, fundraising.
Dollars.
I love it. Kweku, fundraising.
Perseverance.
Mm-hmm. Anil?
VCs.
Yep. Srikanth?
It would be 2 words, but something that I do day in and day out, term sheets.
Okay. All right. Gary?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Fundraising. Describe it in one word.
Grueling.
Not bad. Yeah, that's right. And the last one, and of course, our favorite word, VCTV. Devan?
Amazing.
Raghu?
Global.
Harsh?
Refreshing.
Francis?
Tokens.
Yep. Kweku?
Fantastic.
Thank you. Anil? VCTV. Say that again.
Fun.
Yeah, nice. Srikanth?
Perspective.
Yeah. Gary?
Enchanting.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you so much for all of you to join us today. Thank you for Ivan as well. One more time, congratulations on your pitching. Good luck on your next step. And for the audience who are watching us today, thank you for tuning in. Don't leave us yet because the next event is up to come in less than 30 minutes. We really want to see you there. I hope you picked really good advices, really good opportunities in here. And this is VCTV by LATOKEN. My name is Carol Zurita. I am the LATOKEN VCTV manager. Very happy to hear your comments, your questions. We're here to help you.